Picture this: 4 older women living together in a pastel-colored Miami home, talking about life, love, cheesecake. Sounds weird, right? And yet, the Golden Girls became a cultural juggernaut. It broke barriers, challenged stereotypes, and gave us some of the most quotable one-liners in sitcom history.
I think she's doing a terrific job. Why, ever since she gave me that potion, Norman's been on me like white on rice.
But beyond the laughs and sass, what made the Golden Girls not just a hit, but a phenomenon that still thrives decades after it ended? Today, we're diving deep into the legacy of Dorothy, Rose, Blanche, and Sophia. From casting miracles to behind-the-scenes tensions, and the powerful ways it reshaped how we see aging, friendship, and womanhood on television. Quick favor before we move on.
Decided that pig was going to stay in the pen out back.
Oh, he didn't like it there. It was too confining. Oh, baby's a free spirit, a wanderer.
If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. This is the Golden Girls then and now. Bea Arthur as Dorothy Zbornak, the Tower of Sass, the master of the eye roll, the brain behind the sarcasm. Bea Arthur wasn't just acting. She was Dorothy. Born May 13, 1922, in Brooklyn, New York, Arthur was a stage powerhouse long before her Golden Girls days. But before Broadway, before television, before the Emmys, Bea served in the U.S. Marine Corps. Yes, you read that right. In 1943, during World War II, she enlisted under the name Bernice Frankel, her birth name, and worked as a typist and truck driver. She was one of the first women to serve in the Marines, proving even then that she had grit, confidence, and the guts to do what others wouldn't.
We don't necessarily get the parents we want. We get the ones we're dealt.
You know who my fantasy parents were?
Who, Blanche? Masters and Johnson?
That same fearless energy carried into every role she ever played. With a booming voice and a presence that could silence a room, she made Dorothy the glue that held the house together. Arthur brought depth to Dorothy, a divorced substitute teacher navigating life with her outspoken mother and her wildly different roommates. She was the realist, the skeptic, the intellectual. But underneath all that armor, a character filled with insecurities, especially about love, aging, and self-worth. Bea was a Tony and Emmy winner, and it showed. Her timing was razor-sharp, her reactions were gold, and while she could shut down a room with a glare, she also gave Dorothy layers of vulnerability. Arthur passed away on April 25, 2009, at age 86, but her legacy lives on. Betty White as Rose Nyland, the sweetheart of St. Olaf, the eternal optimist, the queen of bizarre hometown stories. Born January 17, 1922, in Oak Park, Illinois, and raised in Los Angeles, Betty White's life was a love letter to the world of television. After graduating from Beverly Hills High School in 1939, Betty had dreams of becoming a forest ranger. But women weren't allowed in the field at the time. So instead, she pursued writing and acting, landing early roles in radio while also modeling. During World War II, she put her rising career on hold to serve with the American Women's Voluntary Services. She drove a PX truck, delivered supplies, and entertained the troops during long nights at dances and events. It was a humble but deeply patriotic chapter in her life that few fans know about.
We're getting married.
That's impossible, Clayton. Brothers can't marry sisters.
Her official on-screen career began in the late 1930s and exploded in the 1950s with Life with Elizabeth, where she became one of the first women to produce her own sitcom. By the time she joined the Golden Girls, she was already a TV legend. But Rose Nyland gave her a new kind of immortality. Rose was naive, yes, but never stupid. She believed in the good in people. She loved with her whole heart. And her endless stream of St. Olaf stories? They were nonsense. Brilliant, absurd, lovable nonsense. Betty's comedic timing was surgical. She delivered ridiculous lines with such sincerity, they became iconic. Off camera, she was even more impressive. An Emmy winner, a passionate animal welfare advocate, a trailblazer for women in entertainment, and a Guinness World Record holder for the longest TV career by a female entertainer. She was married to game show host Alan Ludden, the love of her life, until his death in 1981. Betty never remarried, saying, "Once you've had the best, who needs the rest?" Betty White passed away on December 31st, 2021, just weeks before her 100th birthday. The world mourned not just an actress, but a beloved national treasure. Her warmth, humor, and legacy are stitched into the very fabric of American television. Rue McClanahan as Blanche Devereaux, the Southern bombshell, the grande dame of sass, the bedroom's most enthusiastic ambassador. Blanche Devereaux redefined what it meant to be a woman of a certain age, confident, flirtatious, stylish, and completely unbothered by what anyone thought. Rue McClanahan, born February 21, 1934, in Healdton, Oklahoma, brought Blanche to life with dazzling flair. She wasn't just playing sexy, she was rewriting the rules.
Actually, tease and tickle. Actually, tease, tickle, and spank.
Rue turned a potential character into a complex, empowered woman. Blanche had depth, insecurities, past trauma, but she never let those things dull her sparkle. Rue was close friends with Betty White and had a long stage and television career. Off-screen, she was witty, outspoken, and deeply involved in progressive causes. She died on June 3, 2010, after she suffered a brain hemorrhage, but Blanche's bold energy still radiates every time someone says, "Eat dirt and die, trash." Estelle Getty as Sophia Petrillo, the Sicilian sniper, the truth bomb dropper, the master of Picture It, Sicily, 1922. Estelle Getty, born July 25, 1923 in New York City, had the steepest climb to stardom. She worked in Yiddish theater and struggled to break into Hollywood. But once she landed Sophia, the world knew her name. Sophia was blunt, savage, and endlessly quotable.
What is this, the Miss Black America contest?
She brought the heat in every scene with barbed one-liners and an uncanny ability to expose everyone's flaws and still be lovable. In real life, Getty battled severe stage fright and later dementia, but on screen, she was unstoppable. Playing Dorothy's mother, she added a wild-card energy that made every episode crackle. Estelle passed away on July 22, 2008, at the age of 84. But Sophia Petrillo remains TV's patron saint of comedic savagery. In the mid-1980s, TV networks weren't exactly clamoring to make shows about women over 50. Youth, beauty, and primetime drama reigned supreme. But NBC took a wild gamble in 1985. The concept, 4 older women living together in a Miami home after life's curveballs threw them together. The setup was simple. Dorothy Zbornak, a sarcastic substitute teacher, Rose Nyland, a sweet but ditzy Midwesterner, Blanche Devereaux, a sultry Southern belle with a parade of boyfriends, and Sophia Petrillo, Dorothy's quick-witted, sharp-tongued mother. It shouldn't have worked. And yet, it did. Beautifully. The show premiered on September 14, 1985. By the end of the first episode, it was obvious. The Golden Girls wasn't just another sitcom. It was lightning in a bottle. But what really made the Golden Girls stand out? The writing. Sure, there were jokes about hot flashes, dating, and St. Olaf, but underneath the punchlines, the show tackled real issues. ageism, LGBTQ rights, death, illness, immigration, addiction, and even sexual assault. There was an episode where Blanche's brother comes out as gay, another where Dorothy battles chronic fatigue syndrome and doctors dismiss her. Rose confronts HIV testing after a blood transfusion. Sophia talks about being in a nursing home. It was progressive, bold, often years ahead of its time, but it was never preachy. It made you laugh first, and then made you think. The show's writers, many of whom were young men, somehow managed to write authentically for 4 older women, and audiences loved it. The Golden Girls consistently ranked in the top 10 throughout its run, and won multiple Emmys, including Best Comedy Series. On screen, they were best friends. Off screen, complicated. Bea Arthur was notoriously private, and at times distant from her co-stars. She reportedly had a love-hate relationship with Betty White. While the feud was never explosive, it was well known that Arthur found White's peppy, crowd-pleasing nature grating. Estelle Getty, despite being the youngest of the group, struggled with severe stage fright and memory issues, which worsened as the show went on. Rue McClanahan and Betty White, however, were close. They often vacationed together and shared a love for animals. Despite these dynamics, they remained professional. They delivered some of the most iconic ensemble acting in TV history. After 7 seasons, 177 episodes, and countless cheesecakes, Bea Arthur decided to leave the show in 1992. She felt Dorothy's arc had run its course. The final episode, where Dorothy gets married and moves away, was a ratings hit and a genuine tearjerker. NBC tried to keep the momentum going with a spin-off called The Golden Palace, featuring Rose, Blanche, and Sophia running a hotel. But without Dorothy, the spark was missing. The show only lasted 1 season. Still, the legacy was secure. The Golden Girls did something few shows ever do. It became immortal. In reruns, it reached new audiences. Millennials and Gen Z discovered the show on streaming platforms and found it surprisingly relevant. Its fashion, once dismissed as dowdy, became retro chic. Merch flooded Etsy and Target. And yes, there's even Golden Girls Clue, Monopoly, and Chia Pets. The show also redefined how television portrays older women. No longer just frail or forgotten, Dorothy, Rose, Blanche, and Sophia were funny, smart, sexy, flawed, and very much alive. So why do the Golden Girls still matter? Because it wasn't just a sitcom about old ladies and cheesecake. It was about chosen family, about growing older with humor and grace, about facing life's messiness with your best friends by your side. It told us it's okay to start over, to be silly, to crave romance, to grieve, to age, and still have something to say. Dorothy's sarcasm, Blanche's boldness, Rose's sweetness, and Sophia's savage honesty. Those traits are timeless. So whether you grew up watching reruns with your grandma or just stumbled on a clip on TikTok, The Golden Girls has something for you. Thank you for being a friend, and for keeping the spirit of these 4 incredible women alive. If you loved this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your favorite Golden Girls moment in the comments, and stay tuned for more nostalgic journeys into the shows that shaped us.